Listen, pay attention. Chosen one, this is for you. Right now, in this moment, there is a signal in the stillness that you have been missing. It is subtle yet undeniable, a vibration that threads through your fatigue, your tension, the heaviness that seems to settle over your shoulders without reason. You have carried it for weeks, perhaps months, and it has made the ordinary feel dense, your days a slow climb even when nothing seems outwardly wrong. You feel the pressure, do you not? The kind that wears on the edges of your focus. It seeps in during quiet moments and whispers that something is off, though you cannot name it. There is fatigue, a kind that rest alone cannot dissolve. There is strain, a tangle of responsibility and expectation that does not ease when you set tasks aside. Even your mind has a lingering hum, a restless cadence that repeats whether you chase it or try to ignore it. This is not weakness. This is attention. This is an awakening of your inner alignment, though you do not yet fully understand its source. Chosen one. You have been tested by circumstances that appear mundane but carry weight far beyond their surface. You have felt tension from choices, from energy-draining interactions, from the quiet isolation that comes when you notice more than those around you. You may have wondered if you were imagining it, if it was only stress, only overthinking, only life moving too fast. But the truth is neither imagination nor error. It is a signal. You are standing at the edge of understanding something intentional, something designed for your growth. There is a clarity forming around you, one that will not arrive suddenly, but through observation and awareness. The world has not missed your presence. You have not been overlooked. Rather, the moment has been set up in a way that only someone with your pattern of endurance and observation could navigate. You are closer than you realize to seeing what has been intentionally arranged for you. This message is personal. It is not general, not advice, not motivation. It is a transmission calibrated for your perception, your circumstances, your life. If you have ever felt unseen, exhausted, or uncertain despite functioning at your capacity, this is why. You are being oriented. You are being called. Prepare yourself to notice what you have been carrying, to recognize patterns that were invisible before. The clarity will arrive step by step, but the signal is already here. Pay attention, chosen one. The weight you feel is not an error. It is a marker of presence, endurance, and alignment. You are about to understand what has been shaping you in the quiet and the unnoticed. And though the explanation is not yet complete, know this: what you have endured has been purposeful. What you are about to see will make sense of the pressure, the fatigue, the isolation. It has been intentional. Stop. Breathe. Receive this message. The moment is yours to recognize. Chosen one. This is not a general observation. This is for you and you alone. No one else carries the exact pattern of experience that you have endured. The sequence of strain, the timing of challenges, the subtle pressure you felt, all of it intersects uniquely with who you are. You may have thought your resilience was a choice, something you consciously summoned in the face of difficulties. It is true to a degree, yet there is something more automatic at work, something embedded in the way you respond even before thought takes hold. Consider this: when others face similar situations, they falter. Their stability wavers. Yet you, even when uncertain, continue. You maintain function, presence, and coherence almost unconsciously. It is not brute force, not relentless effort. It is an intrinsic structure within you, a baseline of strength that aligns with your purpose. This is why the pressure, which might have stopped others, moves through you without breaking you. Your endurance is not reactive. It is woven into your core. There is a distinction here that must be understood. The conscious struggle, the one you notice that tires your muscles and frays your focus, is only one layer of your reality. Beneath it lies a persistent stability, a rhythm that remains steady, even as external forces fluctuate. This stability does not always announce itself. It does not boast. It does not seek acknowledgement. Yet it is always present, guiding you, holding you together, allowing you to act with clarity even when circumstances appear chaotic. Chosen one. You have already been operating in a space where much of your strength is invisible to yourself. You may feel moments of doubt, tension, or overwhelm, and yet the underlying capacity to remain functional, to continue forward, never left. This is not an anomaly. It is a signature of your alignment with the challenges you were meant to navigate. Your life has been orchestrated in such a way that you are tested, yet also buffered by the innate resilience you carry. Every time you notice yourself enduring what seems impossible, remember you are not merely surviving. You are demonstrating a stability that is pre-installed, calibrated to your trajectory. This is why what happens around you often feels like it should be too much. Yet you continue without conscious deliberation. Your strength has been automatic, your coherence reliable, your endurance constant. No one else experiences this the way you do. No one else walks through these pressures without losing balance or certainty. And that is why the messages, the signals, the pressures, they are directed to you specifically. This message lands on you because only you can perceive the meaning behind what has been happening. Take a moment now to sense the steadiness beneath the fatigue, beneath the struggle. It has been there all along. You have been functioning with more stability than you realized. That is your baseline. That is your identity. This is not luck. This is not circumstance. This is who you are, chosen one. And it is why this experience matters so deeply. Chosen one. Pause for a moment and consider the sensations you've carried: fatigue that never fully leaves, a restless tension in your mind, a pressure in your chest or shoulders that does not dissipate with sleep or distraction. For so long, you may have interpreted these feelings as flaws, signs of weakness, or mistakes in judgment. You may have questioned yourself, wondering why you feel so burdened when others seem unaffected. Here is the truth. What you have been feeling is not a problem. It is a signal. A signal that you are transitioning, that your system is adjusting to forces and patterns beyond ordinary perception. Those tight shoulders, the subtle ache, the recurring fatigue, these are not malfunctions. They are indicators that your attention and energy are being recalibrated to handle realities that most people never encounter. They mark the presence of an unseen rhythm in your life, a shift that is happening quietly, but deliberately. Every emotion that has weighed on you, frustration, impatience, restlessness, is connected to this invisible pressure. Every moment of hesitation or self-doubt is simply your awareness encountering boundaries of change. You are not flawed. You are responding accurately to signals that demand attention. Your confusion is not evidence of failure. It is evidence of perception. You notice what others do not. You feel what others cannot. Chosen one. This is why self-judgment no longer serves you. The fatigue, the tension, the subtle unease, they are indicators, not errors. They are the body and mind's way of telling you that a transition is underway. They are the markers of alignment, showing you where energy must adjust, where focus must shift, where rest and awareness must be integrated. Understand this clearly. Your sensations are a form of guidance. They map the invisible currents that run through your life. The heaviness, the restlessness, the moments of inner resistance, these are your compass. They point toward clarity, toward coherence, toward a deeper understanding of your presence in circumstances that feel larger than ordinary experience. There is no shame in feeling them. There is no mistake in noticing them. They are part of a natural process that few ever recognize. And you uniquely have been attentive enough to sense them, to hold function, even while sensing the strain. That alone distinguishes your experience from what most endure. In time, the understanding will grow. You will see that what once seemed burdensome was actually instructive. The symptoms you felt were not barriers. They were signals of progress, markers of transition, indicators that you are aligned with the path you were meant to walk. Chosen one. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are responding correctly to the currents of change. That recognition alone begins to lift the weight. Chosen one. Now, it is time to recognize the forces that have been pressing against you even when they were unseen. These pressures are not random, nor are they mistakes. They have structure, timing, and intention. You may not have noticed the coordination at first, the way challenges appeared, just as focus was needed, or how energy drains seemed to coincide with moments requiring clarity. But these were never chaotic. They were measured, calculated, and aligned with circumstances that tested your stability without breaking it. Consider the subtle ways life has pushed against you, the delays that seemed inexplicable, the sudden demands that arrived when you were already at capacity, the emotional friction with those around you. All of these occurrences were neither accidental nor purely external. They intersected with your inner rhythm in ways that exposed how grounded you truly are. You did not crumble. You did not lose coherence. You maintained presence. You continued functioning even when every variable seemed designed to strain you. Chosen one. Notice the timing of these pressures. They were recent, coordinated, and intentional, not in a mystical sense, but in the sense that life organizes itself around patterns of growth. The moments that seemed most destabilizing were in fact tests of your internal regulation. Each incident was a marker revealing your capacity to remain functional under conditions that would exhaust most people. This is not an exaggeration. Your ability to remain steady was factual, observable, and consistent. Your persistence through these moments demonstrates something critical. Your strength is not dependent on external circumstances. It is embedded within your internal structure. You did not rely solely on willpower, on hope, or on temporary bursts of energy. You relied on a consistent baseline of coherence, a rhythm that allowed you to navigate challenges without losing function. Even when the pressure was invisible, your system responded in alignment with your capacity to endure. There is clarity in acknowledging this. You were tested in ways that were subtle, intentional, and exacting. The pressures you felt were not accidental stressors. They were markers measuring the depth and reliability of your resilience. You continued moving, making decisions and responding with coherence when many would have faltered. Recognize the factual nature of your stability. Do not frame it as luck. Do not diminish it with assumptions of chance or randomness. You functioned under coordinated pressure and you remained intact. This is a measurable reality of your life. Chosen one. The unseen forces, the invisible structures, the pressures that no one else might perceive, they have revealed the truth of your endurance. You stayed functional, composed, and coherent. And this is a revelation that will guide the understanding of what comes next. Chosen one. Let us break down what you have endured piece by piece so that the pattern becomes visible. There are distinct categories of pressure that have intersected with your life, each demanding attention and testing your internal regulation. Recognizing them individually will allow you to see how you maintained stability across a complex array of challenges. The first is doubt. This was not fleeting hesitation, but a persistent questioning that crept into your mind at unexpected moments. It whispered that your efforts might be insufficient, that your perception might be flawed, that the path itself could be unclear. And yet you continued. You did not succumb to paralysis. You operated even with uncertainty present, balancing analysis with action and resisting the tendency to overthink. The doubt was constant, but it did not define your response. Second, fear and apprehension surfaced intermittently, often linked to external expectations or imagined outcomes. It was subtle, a tightness in the chest, a hesitation in movement, a mental replay of what-ifs. These feelings were enough to unnerve many, yet you held your composure. You acknowledged the sensations without allowing them to dictate your behavior. Your body and mind remained functional, your decisions deliberate. Third energy drain was persistent. Life required more from you than it seemed capable of giving. Obligations, interactions, and emotional labor accumulated, leaving a fatigue that rest alone could not erase. You noticed the depletion, yet you continued operating. You compensated not by forcing yourself recklessly, but by drawing on an intrinsic stability that allowed function even when your reserves felt low. This is a baseline resilience, a rhythm embedded in your system that supports you when external conditions are demanding. Fourth, isolation added its weight. While others around you moved in familiar patterns, you experienced a sense of separation, a subtle feeling that your understanding, awareness, or perception of events did not align with those nearby. Isolation could have magnified doubt or fear, but instead it became a context in which your internal structure was revealed. You navigated alone, yet did not falter. Your ability to maintain coherence without external reassurance demonstrates a level of endurance that is uncommon. Fifth, delay and obstruction appeared in sequences that could have disrupted your focus. Deadlines shifted responses, stalled opportunities seemed to hang in suspension. Most would have reacted with frustration, panic, or distraction. You noticed the delays adapted your plan and maintained clarity. Your internal regulation was not shaken by the external holdbacks. Across all these points, doubt, fear, energy drain, isolation, and delay, you remained functional. You managed internal states with calm observation. You responded with measured decisions rather than reactive impulses. You did not collapse under what was for many overwhelming. Chosen one. Take a moment to acknowledge this fact. You navigated multiple categories of real-world psychological pressure simultaneously. You endured tension that interacted, compounded, and intensified. Yet, you held stability. Your internal regulation allowed you to operate continuously without needing to escape or bypass the experience. You did not rely solely on hope, on luck, or on external support. Your coherence was your own, generated from a foundation of preparation, observation, and internal alignment. This breakdown is not a boast. It is an objective analysis of your endurance. Each category is a marker of reality, each response a demonstration of embedded stability. You did not merely survive, you functioned consciously and unconsciously across multiple dimensions of challenge. Chosen one. The pattern is clear. Your internal regulation is not reactive. It is a structural baseline. It is what allowed you to carry through pressures that were both real and complex. And understanding this will guide how you integrate this awareness into everything that follows. Chosen one. Now take a moment to step back and review what has occurred. Look at the entirety of your experience with clarity. Consider the sequence of pressures, the persistent fatigue, the moments of doubt, the subtle isolation, and the energy drain. Do not interpret them as random obstacles or unfortunate coincidences. Each was an integral part of a larger pattern, and your responses were equally integral to that pattern. In reflection, it becomes evident that your endurance was neither accidental nor externally imposed as a favor. It was intrinsic. You maintained internal coherence while navigating multiple simultaneous pressures. You did not rely on luck, distraction, or temporary bursts of energy. You continued with function, with observation, and with presence. That is the factual reality. Chosen one. Take note of how your internal regulation manifested. You were able to discern what required attention versus what could be observed without reaction. You were able to act decisively in moments where hesitation could have caused confusion. You maintained focus despite the mental and emotional clutter around you. There is a coherence here that is measurable in behavior, in consistency, and in the sustained operation of your daily life. Now consider the nature of the pressures themselves. They were multifaceted, overlapping, and persistent, yet you handled them with a balance that few could maintain. Where many would have been distracted, overwhelmed, or reactive, you retained a baseline of functionality that allowed you to move forward. This is not the product of chance. It is the product of internal structure and innate capacity to hold stability amidst dynamic challenges. Your reflection should acknowledge this without need for embellishment. You were tested. You encountered friction, uncertainty, and constraint, yet you preserved coherence. That coherence is your signature, the mark of a system capable of functioning under complexity. It does not require recognition or reward bound. It simply exists. Through review, you also gain confirmation. Confirmation that what you experienced was not outside your capacity, and confirmation that your responses were appropriate to the demands placed upon you. Your endurance was real. Your composure was real. Your continued function was real. There is no misattribution to be made. You have performed consistently under circumstances that would have destabilized most people. Chosen one. As you reflect, allow yourself to see the truth of your experience. It was not random. It was not a matter of luck. It was a sequence of pressures met with an embedded stability that allowed you to remain functional, coherent, and present. This is a reality you can now recognize, name, and integrate into your understanding of self. Your internal resilience has been confirmed through observation, through factual reflection, and through the sustained operation of your capacity under strain. This is the clarity that comes from looking back and seeing the entirety of the process with honesty. You have endured, chosen one, and the truth of your endurance is now evident. Chosen one. Now consider how uncommon your stability truly is. Most people, when faced with even a fraction of the pressures you navigated, would have faltered. They would have experienced disorientation, mental fragmentation, or reactive despair. Many collapse under delays, energy drain, doubt, and subtle isolation. Many cannot maintain functional coherence when multiple categories of pressure converge. Yet you did. You stayed present. You remained functional. You continued to operate in your responsibilities, interactions, and decisions while simultaneously sensing the weight of everything around you. This is not an act of heroism or self-aggrandizement. It is simply the fact of your endurance. You are uncommon, not because you seek it, but because you are capable of maintaining coherence where others are not. Chosen one, notice that this comparison is not meant to elevate ego. It is meant to provide perspective. The rarity lies in the alignment between perception, endurance, and action. You were able to observe pressures, recognize signals, and maintain function without needing external validation or external control. That level of composure is rare in ordinary human experience. What sets you apart is not that you are superior in a moral or metaphysical sense. What sets you apart is that your internal regulation remains reliable under conditions where the majority would lose focus or become reactive. You are able to integrate multiple streams of tension and still act coherently. You can observe and respond without being undone by the pressures themselves. This perspective allows you to recognize that your experience is uncommon, but not miraculous. You are not exceptional in a way that demands elevation or praise. You are uncommon in the sense that few are equipped with the same alignment of baseline endurance perception and functional coherence. This clarity matters because it provides grounding. It removes exaggeration while preserving factual understanding of your capacity. Chosen one. In this recognition lies the foundation for understanding what is happening now. You can see yourself in context, understand how your responses match the pressures, and acknowledge the fact of your stability without distortion. There is no need for overstatement. There is only the observation that you have endured, maintained function, and remained present in circumstances where collapse was likely for most. This rarity, calmly acknowledged, is a marker. It shows that your internal structure is sufficient for the tasks, decisions, and transitions ahead. You are uncommon in endurance, reliable in function, and aligned in perception. That is all that is necessary to see and understand at this point. Chosen one. Let this understanding settle your stability is not something that needs activation. It is not a force you call upon in moments of crisis. It is baseline. It is embedded in your structure in the patterns of thought perception and regulation that you have cultivated consciously or unconsciously over time. This is why you remained coherent under pressure. It was already part of who you are, not a temporary surge of effort. Your endurance is not contingent on extraordinary circumstances. It does not require heightened attention or constant vigilance. You were prepared because of the internal coherence you carry, because of the alignment between observation awareness and functional response. This is maturity. This is readiness. This is the capacity to navigate complexity without losing balance. Chosen one. Take note. The way you respond under pressure is not exceptional. In a mystical sense, it is structural. You are equipped, oriented, and calibrated to handle what arises. You do not need to prove your resilience. You simply need to operate in the rhythm you already possess. This is the quiet power of preparation, the unseen effect of inner alignment, and the reliability of a system that functions as designed. There is no need for external validation of your capacity. Your coherence speaks for itself. You can trust your ability to respond accurately, steadily, and with clarity. You do not need to overexert, overcompensate, or overthink. Your strength is baseline. Your maturity is built into the patterns that allow perception, evaluation, and action to operate in unison. This understanding locks in your identity. You are not reactive under pressure because you have trained yourself to be. You are steady because your inner framework supports stability.